There was a brief, absolutely unhinged moment in American history when you could walk into Hertz, slide a driver's license across the counter, pay $17 a day, and be handed the keys to a Shelby GT350H. Not a tribute, not a clone, not a dress-up package, a real Shelby, a barely street-legal race car with side-exit exhausts, a stiff suspension that hated potholes, and an engine that required constant attention just to stay alive. And people didn't just drive them, they raced them, they stripped them, they stole from them, they returned them Monday morning like nothing happened. This is the true story of the Rent-A-Racer program and why it accidentally became the greatest engine theft operation in motorsports history. Hertz thought they were being clever. Mid-1960s America was obsessed with horsepower. Ford wanted youth credibility. Shelby wanted volume. Hertz wanted headlines. So someone decided to let the public rent a race car. In 1966, Hertz ordered roughly 1,000 GT350H models. Black paint, gold stripes, gold rocker panels, gold wheels. They looked sinister parked and downright illegal in motion. Under the hood wasn't just a V8. This is where the story turns technical and where Hertz lost control. These cars were powered by the K-Code Hypo 289, not the regular Mustang small block, not the grocery getter version. This was Ford's homologation engine, built to survive sustained high RPM and racing abuse. The block used heavier main caps. The heads had screw-in rocker studs, not pressed-in studs like standard 289s. The valve spring pockets were machined differently to handle higher spring pressures. This mattered because at 6,000 RPM, weak valve train parts turned expensive very fast. And then there was the carburetor. Shelby fitted the GT350H with a massive 715 CFM Holley mounted on a high-rise aluminum intake. A standard Mustang of the era ran a 480 CFM Autolite. That difference wasn't subtle. The Holley was physically larger, visually obvious, and absolutely overkill for street driving. But Hertz employees didn't know carbs. To them, it was just the engine. To racers, it was gold. That carb alone was worth serious money. The intake was Shelby-specific, and the engine as a package, that was a turnkey race motor you didn't need to build, blueprint, or break in. You just had to rent it. Friday afternoon, a clean-cut guy would show up. No helmet, no trailer, just confidence. He'd sign the paperwork and drive off the lot. By Friday night, the hood was off behind a motel. The engine came out. Some guys raced the car all weekend. Others never even bothered. They pulled the K-Code motor, dropped in a junkyard 289 with hydraulic lifters, slapped the Holley back on just well enough to idle, and hid the real engine in the bed of a pickup. And here's the part Hertz completely missed: the sound. The K-Code used solid lifters, not hydraulic. Solid lifters require regular lash adjustment, and they make noise, a mechanical ticking, a clatter. It sounds alive, nervous, aggressive. When renters swapped in a hydraulic lifter engine, the car came back quieter. To Hertz employees, that sounded like improvement. Oh, this one runs smooth. No, the race engine was gone. And the abuse didn't stop there. Some renters welded in roll cages, real ones, not bolt-in junk. They burned them straight into the floor pans, then raced the cars in SCCA events all weekend. Sunday night, the roll cage was cut back out, sparks flying, welds ground down just enough to hide the evidence, carpets thrown back in place. Monday morning, the car went back. Collectors today know exactly where to look. Fresh weld scars on the floor pans are one of the biggest red flags. Uneven metal, heat discoloration, sloppy grinding marks where a cage once lived. Then there's the brake pedal. Racers drilled holes in the brake pedal face so they could wire tie it to the gas pedal for easier heel-toe downshifting. That's not something a rental customer does by accident. Original GT350H brake pedals with extra holes tell a very specific story. And the tires. SCCA tech inspectors used chalk and grease pencils to mark tires and windows during events. Renters tried to scrub them off before returning the car, but residue often soaked into the rubber. Decades later, collectors still find faint chalk traces embedded deep in the sidewalls of survivor cars. Hertz didn't catch any of this in real time. They weren't inspecting weld scars. They weren't listening for solid lifter noise. They weren't checking carburetor tags or intake castings. They just saw Mustangs. Meanwhile, racers were using rental cars to win money. Some used them to qualify for competition licenses. Others used them as temporary race cars. There are credible accounts of people paying the rental fee with prize money earned the same weekend using the Hertz Shelby. That's not renting, that's exploiting a loophole. Shelby America knew exactly what was happening. Carroll Shelby wasn't blind. Warranty claims poured in. Engines failed, drivetrains exploded, cars came back twisted, overheated, and worn out in ways normal street use couldn't explain. Ford executives started panicking too. These cars weren't just damaged, some were structurally compromised. Frames tweaked from off-track excursions, suspension pickup points stressed beyond design limits. Insurance costs skyrocketed, maintenance budgets collapsed. Cars meant to last years were being consumed in months. By the end of 1966, the experiment was over. Hertz quietly killed the program. The remaining cars were sold off to the public, often without full disclosure of what they'd endured. Some buyers unknowingly purchased ex-rental race cars with swapped engines, mismatched parts, and hidden scars. Others knew exactly what they were buying, and that's the cruel irony. Today, original GT350H cars are six-figure collectibles. The same cars that were rented, raced, stripped, and returned with bald tires are now judged under bright lights by concours experts searching for weld scars and pedal holes. But here's the part that makes this story legendary. Because the Rent-A-Racer program didn't fail because it was stupid. It failed because it trusted people with real mechanical value. Hertz didn't rent transportation, they rented race engines. They rented Holley carburetors that could outflow most street setups of the era. They rented Shelby cylinder heads with screw-in studs and racing springs. They rented parts that racers spent years trying to afford, and they handed them out with no questions asked. No engine number checks, no teardown inspections, no understanding of what a solid lifter valve train was supposed to sound like. So when a GT350H came back quieter than it left, Hertz heard relief. They thought the car had settled in. In reality, the heart had been ripped out and replaced with something tame enough to survive a return inspection. And that tells you everything about why this program was doomed. Because this wasn't just about speed, it wasn't just about racing, it was about access. For one brief moment in American history, the gatekeepers lost control. You didn't need factory backing, you didn't need a sponsor, you didn't need a trailer, a shop, or a bankroll. You just needed a driver's license, $17 a day, and the nerve to treat a rental contract like a suggestion. And people did exactly what racers always do when the rules are loose and the rewards are real. They pushed, they exploited, they figured out the limits, then they stepped clean over them. Thousands of engines were abused, some were stolen outright, others were raced into early graves. And the wildest part? Hertz never fully recovered them. Those K-code motors didn't disappear. They ended up in club racers, street cars, drag cars, and garage-built legends all across the country. Somewhere, even today, there are cars running around with ex-Hertz Shelby engines under the hood, their past hidden behind fresh paint and a different VIN. The Rent-A-Racer program didn't just create stories, it scattered Shelby DNA across America. And that's why the legend refuses to die. Because once upon a time, the fastest way to build a race car wasn't a loan, a sponsor, or a factory connection. It was a rental agreement. And the smartest move you could make was returning it on Monday.